Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. It's just about a minute past the top of the hour, so we will get started here. I know people are still filtering in, but as mentioned, when I join the webinar here, we'll be recorded and we'll send out this video to all the registrants after it has completed in the next couple days. My name is Phil Anthony. I'm with ICC as a digital code specialist. So all things with our digital codes, including the DCP, Digital Codes Premium Platform, that I'll be showing here, along with our Code Connect API digital products we will go through. So as mentioned, we are recording this. You are welcome to post questions in the comments as I'm presenting. If it's pertinent to what I'm talking about at that moment, I'll stop and check and answer those questions immediately there. If not, we will circle around at the end. I'll definitely leave time for questions that have been posted that we can address at the end as well. All right, so ICC Digital Codes Premium. What I'll go through is just an overview of the product here, and then I'll go and show you the actual software, web-based software here, and demonstrate some of these features. So the Digital Codes Premium platform has different types of collections that will be on it, and I'll explain those a little bit, but a lot of times you'll hear me refer to the Digital Codes Premium Complete Collection. So when we see the word digital codes, and I'll show you on the website, there are have the ability to view, for example, like the iCodes without a subscription or a license. But as you have different collections here, we have over 1,500 titles available in Digital Codes Premium. So any of these titles that are on the premium platform and had those features will allow the features and benefits shown here, which do include things like the most recent content. So everything will be updated automatically. Any new versions errata are added in there. You'll be able to see the code change history, code interpretations, the code development process actually as new codes are released. There's a 3-year cycle, and people will propose different proposals to change code sections, and those will be included in the digital platform as well. You also have the ability to highlight, annotate, create notes, organize those notes in different categories, including having bookmarks so you can share and collaborate those notes with others in your organization. Of course, you're able to copy, paste, and print sections of the code. Very helpful if you're sending an email or creating a Word document. If you want to bring that information in word for word, you're able to copy and paste with the Digital Codes Premium licenses. Then, of course, we have advanced content search, ability to search through for terms, phrases, anything that you're looking for easily throughout all of your code books as well, too. I will mention that there is a 14-day free trial. If you haven't tried that, you can go, it's on our homepage. It really is free. There's no credit card needed. You're not, going to be charged if you don't cancel beforehand. You just sign up for it. You get to use that for 2 weeks, and you're access to all the Digital Codes Premium Complete titles and their features. So as mentioned, the Digital Codes Premium, and sometimes people, when they speak to me, I just like the Digital Codes Premium platform. Well, your next choice is what type of titles you'd like to have in Digital Codes Premium. So as you can see on the screen here, there are singles. Example of a single title would be the IBC, International Building Code. You could also get that title in a collection. A collection of iCodes, for example, would be those 15 iCodes, both the current cycle and previous cycle, including IBC and the other titles as well, too. Another example of titles that we have, and you may be familiar with depending on how your states amends the iCodes, we have state amended code collections, for example, for like Florida, New York, California. So that would be considered a collection. We also have our commentaries to the iCodes, which is very popular. And that's an example of another collection as well. And then finally, what we'll probably refer to most is the Digital Codes Premium Complete Collection. As you start to acquire or put multiple titles of singles or collections into your cart, you'll probably see that it may get really close or be more expensive than just getting a premium complete. So 1,500 titles is definitely a great value. You may not use every single title, but it does end up being the best value if you're combining multiple collections together. In addition to the I-codes that I mentioned, the state codes, we do include many different organizations' standards. Here's a list showing some of the logos that we have. We do work directly with these SDOs, so any content that you see, for example, from ASTM comes directly from ASTM, so you know that you're getting this content directly from the authoritative sources. There may be different licensing agreements where, we did call like the digital codes premium complete. Some standards that we do have available due to licensing agreements, they may be not included in the complete, but they can be available with a separate license. You just kind of want to point that out. You should be able to view those if you get the free trial, which ones are available in their entirety, which ones may just be referenced in the I-codes, and which ones may be available to add to your platform as well. So to circle back, here's the examples of the different types of premium licenses that you can acquire. Obviously, you're probably aware that singles can cost different amounts of prices that are available depending on the title. And you do have the ability to order these monthly, annually. There is a 3-year discount, which is the best savings. And then the collections are also priced variably as well, too. And then the premium codes complete. As mentioned, there's 1,500 titles, but we keep adding more titles as they become available. I'll mention that the 2024 cycle of I-codes are becoming available online and will be available in print soon. So as those are coming on our digital platform, those will be automatically added there. Individual single licenses start at $7.92 for ICC members. But I'll also underline the fact that you do not have to be a member of the ICC to be able to acquire these digital codes premium licenses. Anyone can use them. As mentioned, there's 3 discounts available. One is being the ICC member. There is also this multiple license discount. So if you're going up and higher than the tiers, you will get an additional discount. And then, as mentioned, you can do monthly, annual, or there is a 3-year plan that would give you the best value. I'll also mention this. We do have a enterprise platform. Now, the look and feel of the software is exactly the same as I'll be explaining to you and showing you on this webinar. But we have this enterprise platform for larger organizations where there's more administrative tools that are available. Easier to onboard many users. You could upload, a file of 50, 100, 500 people onto the platform very easily. You can activate or deactivate as they would come or go from your organization. The only difference here with this is these would be dedicated seats instead of licenses that can either be shared or dedicated. But obviously, as mentioned, these are for organizations that like to have their users have always on access and dedicated seats along with all the other administrative tools that are available. Pause to see if there's any questions, and I do not see any yet, but once again, to remind you, feel free to post any questions in the chat, and I will stop on occasion just to check those and see if there's any questions that you have. All right, so getting on to the actual software, digital codes. All of our codes reside here at this URL. You can view that, the codes.iccsafe.org. As I scroll down, as mentioned, the free premium complete trial is available there. I'm not logged in yet, so that choice is given to me. And as you can see, you heard me keep saying DCP, Digital Codes Premium. Well, I don't see the premium on this web page yet. That's because, as mentioned, we do have a free basic view for many of our titles. So I'm not logged in. It's just a plain old digital codes. It doesn't say premium yet, but you are able to, and I'll just show you real quick, both, I mentioned the locations. If states have contracted back with ICC to produce their amended code, that's available for free. But I'll just use I-codes as an example here. And as you can see, one of the great benefits here is that you will have the ability to view previous cycles as well too. So if I just choose the 2018, as you can see, you can choose any of the titles Once again, I'm not logged in, but I can still access individual sections. I can peruse using the index, being able to see the code. I'll mention this since I'm here, the 2018, that was a full cycle a couple cycles ago, but as you can see, there was 6 total versions of this IBC. So in this case, as the new versions become available, here's the example. There's simply uploaded. You don't have to request it, so you're always getting the most up-to-date content information. And while I'm here, I may as well point out things as they're popping up on the screen, but you can see there's this blue section here. What this indicates is that code section number, and the content was changed from the previous cycle of iCode. So there's a lot of easy to view information along with code insights and everything. I'll point out here, I can't copy or paste anything from here. Obviously, I'll show you the notes sections and the insights. Here's that Digital Codes Premium logo. So those features are only available when you subscribe and have a license. So I'll do that now. I'll sign in. And as I go through this, let me choose this one here and I sign in. What you'll notice is that Digital Codes logo will now change to Digital Codes Premium. You see where I logged in? It shows that I do have access to Premium Complete, so I have those 1,500 titles there. And since I'm on the same page right here, I may as well continue on and explain this. So I was viewing this without a license and not logged in, but as you can see now, I still have the content, but now you have these extra features, and here we'll get into describing some of those. I guess the first thing I'll notice, and use this as an example, as you are using these code books or any of the other titles in here, you can create notes. And I'll describe how you can either have these subscriptions dedicated to single users, or you can put them into shared concurrent groups where you can view each other's notes. So using this as an example, if I were to come into a group that's being shared with other people, I would be able to view anyone else's notes that were created in here. So here's an example that someone in here created this note. You're going to be able to see, who that person was that created it. There's a project tag, so it can be organized by top subject or topical areas, and any of the custom notes that someone had written in there would be able to be viewed there as well too. And when I created this note, I actually had intended for it to be highlighted, so that's why it's highlighted there too. Just to show real quickly, if there's large amount of notes, you can shrink them down so they're not taking up any more of your screen space there. And here's an example of another note that was created. This one doesn't have any highlights. It was just a bookmark. So let me show you how I created these. And what happens is each one of these code sections has this, we call it a waffle, tic-tac-toe board, or whatever have you. And it's going to open up these 4 icons. The first 2 icons will create notes, okay? If I had highlighted something, it would retain that highlight like I had in the previous ones if I choose this highlight icon right here. This bookmark icon opens up the same note dialog, so it would be the same thing. It's just not going to keep any highlights there if you don't want to have those. So you can take the notes here. It's got a strong text editor where you can do strike-throughs, bolding. You can create bulleted list. You can bring in media. You can bring in websites over there, interlinks that are from your computer, anything else that you would like to put into that and be saved. Here's the project tag. So any tag that you wanted to organize your content with, it could be a specific address, a commercial building, a project that you may be working on. And if you're working in a group, anyone else who created a project tag, you'd be able to choose from them as well. Or you can create your own, and then those will be available later. So as I save this, you're going to see that note automatically is extended right into that section there and will be retained, whether you have your own personal subscription or if you're sharing the group access as well. The third icon, using the same section, will share the link. And as I have spoken with different people at the governmental municipalities, cities, towns, they seem to think this is a great aspect because, as mentioned, for example, this IBC is available and our amended state codes in a free basic view. So if you wanted to use this email editor, it would come from ICC support. Many people choose just to copy the URL so they can send in their own mail. But the beauty of this is this takes this exact URL that you're seeing up, up in the browser, and you can send that directly to anyone you're communicating with. And the advantage here is it's going to take them directly to this code section. And since they don't have a license or just, a regular homeowner, they'll still be able to open up and view exactly what you're referencing. They won't be able to see your notes, obviously, but then they can also reference any of the surrounding code sections that may be pertinent for them to see as well, too. So instead of people coming in, you go into the copier, copying a page out of your code book, you can just send this information to them and they can view that easily. Mentioning the print functionality, though, each of the code section will have the availability to print or to create a PDF. Now, you can't print the entire book, the entire title, or the entire chapter, but for the most part, when I speak with users, being able to print sections and or the subsections is all they really are most focused on. So here we go. I selected that. And as you can see, it took the section and the subsections underneath it, all beautifully formatted. So you could actually use this as a document, and anything that, you need to send to someone has a great footer in there where it shows it is coming from the authoritative source. So everyone knows where that's coming from, formatted all nicely. And you can send that to the printer. Second option that you would have there is that you could then download the file as a PDF. So, even though this digital platform is really moved beyond the limitations of PDF and print, there's still people that, would like to have a PDF copy of something or be able to print it. You still will have that ability. As mentioned, you can't, print the entire chapter or book, but you will have access to both print and PDF saving to your desktop as well. All right, so I explained those icons that are there on each of the code sections. And since I was speaking so much about the notes, let me go over here and summarize that, and then I'll come back to a code book. But as you can see over where that index was, I clicked on the notes section. So what I have now here is a list of every note that was created in this title. And as you can see, it's a hyperlink. I can jump right to them. If I have hundreds or thousands of notes in here, I am now able to, here's what we were talking about, able to select a single project tag, and then it will just show those particular notes from there. And that's how you can manage those notes and then narrow them down to just what you find most, pertinent to what you're looking for. This third tab here, I know I'll come back and talk to about a little more as well too, but we've included this feature, and this is another feature that no one else can replicate, because these are going to be insights from the ICC publications that no one else has the ability to reproduce in this digital type of format. So we've taken our revision history, significant changes, our commentaries, and have been able to put them together into these individual code sections. So what I've done here is this. It looks similar to what the index was, of everything. But since I selected insights, it's only going to show me those code sections that have this extra, you see the P icon, I'm kind of hovering over there, this extra information. So if I were to show you, and then once again, I can filter by these. I won't do it right now, I'll just jump to it. But if you're just looking for code interpretation, or the premium answers, or the hearing videos, you could sort just from there. But let me just go to a section here so we can see these. There's the premium logo indicating that. And at the end here, this is where you're going to open up and be able to see what those code interpretations are. Sometimes they may be the significant changes. Sometimes they may be hearing videos. So any of these sections that have that, you'll be able to see that. And then depending on which are available there, you can jump right to those. Like I said, some of them may be code hearings and such as well too, but those will be available after each one of those chapters, and you're able to separate them out if you're just looking for, specific code interpretations or something like that. All right, going back to the notes so I can finish up that topic here, because that is one of the strongest things. And actually, while I'm here, probably the first tool that everyone uses, as you can see, I got my license. I just highlighted that. I can copy and paste that into my Word document or email. So very easy to copy and paste if you need parts of the sections in there. And that become even more powerful if you have a license for the commentaries. And I'll make sure to show those up at the end because those have some extra explanation to the code sections that are not available in free basic view. All right, but finishing up with the notes topic, the notes feature, I'm going to go over here to my left-hand menu where we have all the premium tools. A lot of these are self-explanatory, but I'll circle back at the end where you can, quick access library and be able to do your content search, and all your notes and bookmarks is what I'll go to now. So every note that was created, and that's whether it's a note, bookmark, highlight, whatever section, will be contained here. If you have your own dedicated license, just your notes will be here. If you're sharing this information into in a collaborative group, everyone's notes will be here. So once again, as you can see, all the different titles will be out here. You are able to expand this out. These act as like a hyperlink. So let me choose my IRC here. So I expand out, I have 10 notes there. From any one of those, I could just jump right to, and as you can see, it gives you a brief preview of what those custom notes were written in there, the type of project tags and everything. Let me just show you the power of this when it's all on this platform and digitized. So I can select all these notes. I only have 10, but you could have hundreds. And this is 2021. So as I mentioned, 2024 is coming out. When my IRC gets dropped in for 2024 to my library, I'm going to be able to move every single one of my notes. And if I choose to clone them, they'll remain here in 2021. But then every one of those notes will be moved over to the 2024. The system is intelligent enough to know that if the particular code section number has changed or it's in a different chapter, it will move your notes to the associated content, even if it's in a new place in the next cycle. So very convenient there. You'll be able to move all those notes in the next cycle. And as mentioned, all those project tags carry over here. So, in your thousands of different notes, you could have over hundreds of different titles. You would be able to go ahead and bring those up by the different project tag. That's why showing you these here, and then I'll just filter those out. You could print your notes across multiple titles, for example here, and you could generate a PDF of all these notes that were contained over here. And then once again, yes, you are always able to jump right to those code sections. Actually, let me go ahead and jump over here now that I have mentioned it. As mentioned, there is a lot of advantages in the text that we provide digitally, because then we could manage, what types of colored text. Here's, for example, I mentioned the blue text would be changes in a previous I-code. The state amended codes will have changes in red text. And then we also do custom local building codes. We're using Bellevue as an example here. So their specific city codes are in pink, and most of that in pink, but there you can also see we're all over. They've done a lot of amendments, but if there's other areas, you'll also be able to see, for example, if Washington has made their changes, those will be in red. Changes to the I codes. And here, once again, these are, there's the red right there showing that it's a change that Washington made to the International Residential Code. And then this blue, once again, is a change in the base I codes of the IRC from the previous cycle as well, too. So very easy to, once again, be able to identify. And as mentioned, these are the local codes, amended codes, and they still have the same icons there as well, performing all the features that I had explained there. All right, let me go into our advanced search. Well, first, let me check chat. No one has posted a question yet, so feel free if you do have a question to go ahead. Like I said, I'll always leave time at the end as well too. If you want me to open up the mics, I can do that. We can ask the questions verbally as well. So as I was talking there, I did a search for means of egress across 1,500 titles. Now, obviously, you probably wouldn't do that. That's not a very effective search. It brings back almost 35,000 incidents of that. But I just kind of want to show you then how you could refine it if you did want to do a global search. So the first probably category that people might want to refine by would be, whether it be the I codes, but you could restrict the search to, particular state, the California codes. As you can see, that dropped my 35,000 down to 2,500. For this example, I will keep it in the I codes and I'll choose the 2021 I codes. And that's still searching across 15 I code titles down to almost 700 results. And then you could pick the exact book or several books. And I'll show you how this works too. If I would have started, for example, in IFC, it would have kept the search only to IFC. But just kind of show you how it's keeping it for all those 15 titles in the 2021 I codes. But if you wanted to search for just, for example, figures, tables, and equations, you could narrow it down that way. So here are my results. And as you can see, we call this a breadcrumb trail. So you can see that one's from the IRC, this one's from the IEBC. So if you are doing a wide global search, you can kind of see where the content is coming from. Much better than searching in like a PDF where like it would just give you, okay, there's the word egress is used 600 times and you can tab through each of them, to see what they are. But this gives you, a view of that code section of where it's referenced, and then you can jump right into it. You can jump at the top of the title, top of the chapter, section, or subsection, and it'll take you right there as well too. And then it does retain your original search. So if you wanted to come back, it opens up in the new tab, kind of convenient. All the features that you're used to, familiar with using a browser, whether you're shopping on Amazon or something else, you can pull up multiple tabs and be able to see them without, using the back button. You can open up a new window so you can see them side by side on one monitor. If you got multiple monitors, you can spread them across and have multiple pages open and be able to reference them as well too. Let me clear that search and show you another advanced search tool set that you'll have. Once again, I'll still search across the entire library, but I'm going to choose this advanced term search. And you're probably familiar with being able to use exact, phrase, all, any, or none examples. But what you might not see in all search engines is this advanced term search called near term search. So I'm going to take that egress word, I'm going to combine it with basement. And when I click advanced term search, it will look for those two words that you've selected wherever they occur within 50 words of each other. So here we go, that, large global search of means of egress had, 35,000. We're down, just over the almost 500. And you can see it's giving an explanation or a view of what that code is. You're seeing if it's coming from, this one's from the IRC. Here's an example. This one's coming from the IRC commentary. You see how long that one is? Since I'm here, I'll mention that. Commentaries will show you the code section, but then what's not in the I code itself is this additional explanation with the diamonds here. So everything that's in a diamond is the commentary. Let me go right to that though. This actually happens to be in the tiny house, but I'll show you what the code and commentary. Actually, I'll choose IBC to go back to it, but that's just kind of an example to go in there and show you how you can link right to it. Let me go to the commentaries now. I do see one question's asked. I don't want to let it go too long. It's not pertinent to what I'm talking about right now, but I don't want to discourage you from asking questions. And someone asked if you can use this digital codes platform for exams. You are and this just started over the past few months. So this would be just in the Pronto exams that many of you are probably familiar with. So what just occurred here over the past few months is they're allowing test takers to use digital codes in the exam environment. So it will be on your same monitor that you'll have access to. And it is the digital code. So as I showed you, like IBC, you could reference IBC in its entirety there. What you will not have are all these additional features like note-taking and advanced search. But if you have digital codes, at premium, actually, you'd already be familiar with how to find content in sections that way. so it, be easy to use. And before the exam, you could be taking notes, creating notes in these individual titles with premium codes complete. I'll circle around and show this too. We even have the study guide, the study companions in there and the flashcards. So you could be using this digital codes platform to prepare for the exam instead of buying a physical book. And then when you get into the exam, you'll have access to, I'll refer to that as like that free basic view. So uh, currently, you can choose whether or not you want to have a book. The books are still allowed. They just started this process to allow people, and they'll get feedback on how it works for them. But yeah, check as you're sitting for the next exam, what type of materials you may be required to order, and if those will be available in the digital codes as well too during the exam. All right, I did mention coding commentary, and I find this actually a great series. Sometimes I speak with people who have not heard of it before, and once they heard the explanation, they're like, wow, I'm definitely going to get this as well. So for those of you that are familiar with, for example, the I codes, here's IFC. This is the IFC code, but when we do our commentary versions, and you may have seen the print versions, they're huge, huge volumes because they have all this extra information. But digitally, it's really easy to use because this is code and commentary together. So if I go through, I choose a code section, and I can be scrolling through here. Let me turn off the commentary first. This is kind of like the way I like to show it. So this is the IFC, the code book. This is how it reads. This is how it looks. But if I get to something and I'm like, kind of interesting here, okay, this is just a one sentence explanation here. Let me expand out the commentary. And then as you see, all those diamond sections open up. And now that is the additional information that's not in the I code, but it is in the commentary. And many people will find that useful if they're, even if they're familiar with the code, maybe they're explaining the code section to someone that isn't so familiar. So this extra explanation, plain English, not common sense, but like extra sense, explaining it gives them availability. They can copy and paste this in any explanation they're doing or show it to the people they're having that conversation with. And you see these icons that are at each section as well too, where you have the availability if you needed to print something out like that. Send that link would not work for someone who doesn't have a license, but you do have access to, once again, be able to copy paste or create a PDF of that if you're including in other documentation as well. All right, since I mentioned the other resources here, I'll kind of let me go through each of these boxes are on the home page, and then I will go explain, how you can configure licenses and how you can, either dedicate them to people or share them. And then I think I'll wrap it up and leave questions after that. So feel free to continue to post. But here, as we mentioned, the I codes are the first ones, and you get access to previous cycles as well too. And as 2024 being created, I'll just bring those up. As you can see, I got about half of them in there. I got 7 in there. More will be coming out, and those will be placed in there automatically as well. So it's not like, for those people who like buying the print books, you could buy those print books immediately, but once again, they're going to be, in a cycle for 3 years, and they may have different versions or updates that you would have to, order those extra pages for, or, get a new PDF. This way, digitally, on Digital Codes Premium, you'll always have access to the most recent content. Here's a list of all our reference standards. If you're not familiar, all of our iCode titles do have a reference standard chapter. Many of them we do have links to on complete to those additional SDOs that have created the standards. Some of them will be in their entirety. Some of them may be an extra license that you would have to acquire to use. ASTM, let me use for example, it doesn't have every ASTM standard that was ever issued, but it does have all 525 ASTM standards that were referenced in the 2021 I codes. So if I was in a chapter and it has a reference to ASTM, you could click on there and it would send you right to this particular document. As you can see here, ASTM licensing has this in its entirety. You just can't copy and paste from it. That's how they license it to us, but it is in its entirety. You are able to reference all of that. The locations, most people here in the United States will use them if they, we have architectural engineering firms that need multiple amended codes. So for example, California, and if you're not aware, I'll take California example, but we probably have about half the states in here have contracted back with us to produce them, New York, Florida, I mentioned. So as you can see here, if you're not familiar, we create the IRC, and then California will come through and create the California residential code. And then those changes to the IRC that they made would be in red. But I just wanted to pull this up to show you that those amended state codes would also be available in the free view, but they are also premium titles as well. So you are able to access them and use all those premium features that we are discussing. And as you can see, we do extend into international areas as well too. Those continue to grow at actually a rapid rate. So we're excited. It truly is, the international codes and any other regions that are adopting those, you'll be able to view those as those come online as well. The resources. Here's where I mentioned we talk about those additional the premium content with the code development process, the revision history, significant changes. Those are all separate titles that are available to reference in their entirety. In addition to where we showed the Insights tab before, someone had asked a question about additional study materials. So the study companions are in there, the flashcards. And once again, as I mentioned these, you could buy these as single titles. You could buy them as a collection. But as you start bringing multiple purchases of single titles or collections together, you're probably going to get up to, what the cost of a complete would be. And here's an example that, these would be included in the complete collection as well too. And once again, as you can see, you have all the features where you can make notes, print, and things like that too. The flashcards are cool. Next to the answer, you can jump right to the section that they're referencing as well. So those would be included with that complete collection. Go back to the home page here. Topical areas. This may be kind of repetitive, but there's other topics that we'll put in there, like our PMG collection that would group all those related titles together. We also are including from additional publishers. Some of this may be included with the complete. Other ones, like from different publishers, they do digitize their product at an extra license cost if you want to put them on the platform. And then collections. I think I touched on most of them that are available. Once again, Premium Complete is probably our most popular one, but here's the example of if you just need the Florida codes, California codes, New York City, all those that are in there as well too. You can just get individual code collections. All right, going back to, let's do the premium for teams. I know people always have questions on this, and they do ask about how, what's the most effective way to use these licenses. Always get asked, which collection should I get? Probably the first question I ask people, and they're like, which collection should I get? I'll ask them if they are interested in both the iCodes and a particular state collection. If they are, that's almost guaranteed. It's better to go with complete. And for the people that like the commentaries, commentaries per license is almost as much as a complete. So if you're combining that with anything, it's almost worthwhile to get the complete. And then the next question is asked is, okay, first question is, do all my users have to be ICC members? No, you do not need to be a member to purchase or use Digital Codes Premium. I will mention there is a discount if you are an active ICC member, and it is always worthwhile. Even an individual membership at $66 will pay for itself and your first purchase in the store. But there's also individual memberships for about $200, and then there's governmental and corporate memberships where you can include other employees underneath them, and they would be extended the same other benefits that are included with this. So, but for my purpose here, I will mention that membership does allow you discounted prices on everything that we have in the store. So I mentioned the enterprise platform, and let me just discuss that real quickly first. So everything on the enterprise platform works exactly how you saw it displayed here in my demo. The main difference here is that these are going to be dedicated seats. which is exactly what people want sometimes. They want their users, let's say they have 10 users, they don't want to share one or two licenses among 10 people because those people need to be they need to have access whenever they need access. So those are dedicated seats. That's usually my first question there. If you're going to dedicate seats, whether it's 10, 100, or 500, I would definitely go with Enterprise. It's easier to load those people in, manage them if they leave. You get some more detailed reports than what you would get is if you're getting the concurrent licenses. So we call these, DCP licenses. And if you're on our store, I mentioned, for example, the one DCP complete license is 792 as an ICC member. If you buy two of them, the price go down, for each. The price breaks at 3 and 4, then 5. But you can acquire any number of licenses that you want, and you can determine whether or not you want to configure them to be dedicated or shared. You do not have to designate that before you make the purchase. Basically, you purchase a license and you can configure it however you want. So let's just use it for example. You're an individual user. You buy your one license, okay? Right now, that is your personal license, okay? And when you log in your account, it will show up as you have the complete, and you're able to access all these features that we've been over. But let me show you here. If you decided to, and here's an example. Here's my account. There's the account that it is associated with. And I have Premium Complete, just as you would show here if you had the Premium Complete license. Now, you would also have the ability to share that license with other people. So if you're that license owner with the license configuration, show right here, you have one personal license. You could create a concurrent group by creating a group name. So, such you can go through here and access that. And then what you are able to do, and then well, let me just show you this too. Then your one personal license, it will show as 0 because you don't have a personal license. You've made it into a shared concurrent group. You could give that group name to as many people as you want, and you can share access. All they would do is they would log into their own account. You're not sharing your account login, but then they would just log in to that particular account and they would be in there. May as well go ahead and do it. And they'll be confirmed that they're in there because the group name, the account name will change to the name of the group, and they're able to use that one license. Now, the limitation is going to be that only one person can be using that group at a time because there's only one license in there. But once they go back to their own personal account, they've released that license and someone else can go in there. If they happen to forget to do that or go to lunch or something, that will log them out after 20 minutes of inactivity so they're not monopolizing it. But you can share that one license with as many people as you want just by giving that group name. The limitation is going to be, and you may reach that quickly, is that only one person can be in there at a time. But you can increase the number of licenses. You could put 10 licenses in that shared group and give it out to that group named only 10 people. Since only 10 people know the code to get in, and there's 10 licenses in there, they'll never be denied access. But the advantage there would be that they could then create their own notes in that group, and be able to view other users' notes as well for that collaborative focus in the feature too. And then to expand that, if you have 10 licenses for 10 people, more people join the team, you could, give those to 5 new people, 10 new people, 20 new people, they could still go in that group. But the more people that you end up adding in there, the more likely it is someone may be shut out. And then the other advantage of that too is a lot of organizations will make multiple groups. Maybe you got that 10 licenses for the people who do the inspections, and then maybe a separate group for people who are doing the planning because they don't want to see each other's notes and they want to keep that focus there, and maybe they're managing their access a little bit differently. And I will wrap up here pretty quickly here in about 5 minutes. But since I ended up here, my premium library, once again, I think I went through most of everything that you'll see on the menus here. But as I open up my library, we've made some changes here to make it really easy to use. I think when you first get your license, it'll take you to the Get Started. So you can go and see some of these onboarding videos, quick start guides, and things like that. The favorites, as I mentioned, let me go here. So here's an individual title. If you want to make that a favorited book, then you can fill in that heart there, and then that will appear, as being a favorite going forward. Let me refresh my screen. And there it goes. It just put that in there as being the most recent one, so it appears first. If you like looking at book covers, you can change it there. But this feature was asked for quite frequently. If you get too many favorites, then what's really favorite, right? But now you can manage them. So if I don't want 2018 IRC at the top, I'm like, I want to put my IFC commentary back at the top. So I added it a long time ago. It just keeps sliding it up here, and then can put it right there at the top, and then that will always be presented first. And then we have another one. You can actually access favorites without going into your library too. See, there it is. Boom, all your favorites, and it go ahead and lets you rearrange them and organize them as well. So we are consistently making upgrades to our platform, both with content and features. Looking forward to anyone that will be attending our ICC annual conference in St. Louis in a few weeks here. And we do listen to customers, users' feedback. I'll show this right here. Over on the side on every page is a feedback button. If you have a comment about how something works, or a feature request, or something doesn't look right, or anything like that, we do read these all the time. So we welcome your comments. You are the users that help make this a better platform, and we continue to improve it, invest both the time and money into it to do that. So I will end my presentation now. I'll let the recording go a little bit here, checking to see if anyone's posted any other notes. I do not, or any other things in chats. I do not see anything here. So I will go back to the main homepage, allow anyone else to post any questions if they want. But just once again, I am logged in, so you can't see that when I log out. It already knows I have a license, so it's not showing the free trial. But as I log out again, I got into, I'm sorry, the Revit. If you add architecture and engineering firm, you are able to use the Revit add-in. And when you got a license, you're going to be able to pull in all the content that you have access to through digital codes and use that in Revit. I also mention this too. Here's the webinars. As we create more webinars, the new ones will be posted here. Feel free to join those. And I asked them to keep some of the other ones up. The Premium Codes Insight, I was talking about those different buttons that was showing significant changes, links to commentaries and such. That would be in there. And then I'm just bringing this up, pointing, because I believe we still kept, the Revit one that we did a little while back gives an overview with a Revit user providing the commentary on there. So always feel free to check there for new webinars and previous ones. And just checking through here, I believe we have covered just about everything. I do not see any questions asked. So what I will do is I will end the recording. I thank everyone for attending. Please feel free to contact me with any questions. Let me put up this one page here before I turn off the recording. If you are able to, or if you have questions that I wasn't able to address here, or you got a specific use case scenario in your organization, please feel free to contact me. I'd be glad to, discuss that with you and look for what the best solution is. And then I will stay online here. I'm ending the recording now. But if anyone has any questions, feel free to post them here. And I look forward to speaking with anyone that has any further follow-up questions. Thank you. Bye.